probably, like, it still puts a lot of pressure on lanes, and the fact that maybe it's not Furion that teleports around, but it is a consistent presence that's very hard to be able to deal with, and is play around wrong as much as possible.
Yeah, and a lot of that was just Wrong taking it away. There were a couple of those lassos that I thought that he was... Puts
10 seconds remaining.
On a lot of the heroes in SP standard kit, but the Mirana here, I think,
5 seconds
one of the
remaining.
best responses that we've seen by SG. Very difficult to threaten that hero mid, at least in the
It does leave their off lane out of the pool, and we kind of talked about it. Leposa does have a little bit of a low hero pool. His Bat Rider's going to get banned. He had a couple of good plays on
10
the Bat
seconds
Rider,
remaining.
even if I feel like he wasn't really pushing the hero to the max. Mechanically speaking, he
5
did have some
seconds
pretty good
remaining.
reactions
Agent team ban.
and tried to play around wrong as much as possible.
Yeah, and a lot of that was just Wrong taking it away. There were a couple of those lassos that I thought that he was in position to avoid the swap, that Wrong was just super quick.
And there were a couple that went astray, just in the sense that you could pull someone out and there wouldn't be anyone there.
There was like the Life Stealer, the Life Stealer infested bit. He popped out of the creep and instantly Leposa jumped in and grabbed him. That was
seconds
really fast
remaining.
reaction. So I was like, oh, that was a cool play, but it still didn't matter, right? Because Wong was still always able to go. Even though he tried to play fast, he was strategically by Vengeance Spirit.
Spearbreaker against a Weaver, where you think Spearbreaker is really good against...
ESL1 hamburg game also uses
To that point, I really see SG making a improvement there.
The other thing is, I think I like the potential of that both the Underlord and Spirit Breaker give you both the fights. Like, whereas the one area in the map where it is where it's hardest to anticipate
10 seconds
the Spirit
remaining.
Breaker is going to take into the fight is that Roche Pit, and the Underlord can both
5
get you
seconds
over there,
remaining.
and he can actually help out doing Rush. He is one of the few percentage-based damage needs that affects you.
Yeah, it's actually kind of crazy.
It is.
He's really good at doing Roach Lock. I think I watched somebody do Roche pretty much solo with the Lord once.
Yeah.
I mean, when you think they make
Okay.
sense, right? It makes sense. He's a lord of pits. It's a Roshan pit.
It's no longer a pit,
Wow.
though.
Oh, it
You
kind
no
of
longer go down.
That's true.
Is there
We
some
still
Imagine
call it
air
Roche
ball.
pit. We still call it Roche pit.
Is there some kind of competition, Paul, that I don't know about with them making the wrong right puns and now? All right. I thought I was the dad at the desk.
No.
You have some experience.
We've got some experience in that.
Oh, they banned Monkey King. So the offlane Monkey King is a possibility.
Yeah,
Maybe
of
the Venomancer is offlane here as well. Again, Kane, really big advantage.
What about a lone turret here for us?
I already wrote down Costamel's pick, by the way. I already wrote it down.
You gonna tell me?
No.
Yeah, he's going to reveal it. Dark Ward. That's
Oh, kid.
Do you wanna?
Yeah, I suppose we should have checked. Yes, Paul. We should have seen it coming. I just hate it.
As soon as they picked up the Underlord.
But they've got,
I know.
But they've got
Yeah.
Chaos Knight now. So here's the thing: is like Arc Warden, Keen are fine with letting it out because Death Prophet is actually one of the better heroes versus Arc Warden because the ghosts ignore the bubble and they can get damage in. Now they've got Chaos Knight who's going to pick up a Blink Dagger eventually to jump onto the Arc Warden as well. They've already got Clockwork in that regard. I actually think that Keen is perfectly okay with this.
Honestly, I think it comes down to I think the Arc Warden makes this tempo-wise. I think it's just going to take too long to come online. And this time, if Keen get off to that big lead phase advantage, there's no 10-minute Batrider blink advantage.
Okay.
10 seconds
Keen,
They're gonna get
you don't even have to ask me, Paul.
Well, let's build some tension here. Let's have a proper show.
Sure.
Capitalists.
Yes.
Where are we going in this second game?
I have to think about this a little bit, Paul. I have to read the weather signs outside, feel my Oracle vibes here.
I don't know. If SG couldn't win game number 1, that was their best shot to be able to beat Keen. And
So you're all on board with King 2-0?
Yeah.
All right, Alan?
Love what I saw from SG in game 1, but
By Keen Gaming, the two experts here on the panel, believe that this is a 2-0 for Keen Gaming. Is it? Let's find out as we head into game number 2.
Thank you very much, Paul. Indeed, I'm Odie Pixel. I'm going for the fabulous split. We're ready to kick off game 2 between these two sides. Blitz, the panel, they didn't have a lot of faith in what SG have brought into game 2, but they've got their Arc Warden. This is this hero that every team seems to ban against them. It seems to be their favorite go-to hero to play. Is it not good this game?
I think it's a little bit rough, and I think people have set the standard of how to play against it. Just aggro trialing it. Or get really aggressive on it early on. And that's why SG, they're smoked up as 5, because they want to make sure that he gets the best laning phase possible. This hero struggles yes, it catches up, but there's a bare minimum of items that he needs to fight, and it's a lot of items.
But he does get them at a good pace, surely, after he hits sort of his first, the Midas and such. He farms quickly.
Yes, but I think the game also snowballs pace-wise like out of his control if he doesn't have a relatively strong lane. And that's why they're smoked up like this. It's not just to try to get a kill, but it's to scout out the lanes early on.
Yeah, he's not going to quite be able to find the range for the setup there, Bardino. So SG don't get the kill, but as you say, it gets them some info. Also gives some info, of course, to the side of Keen Gaming. And we'll see where they want to put Costa Beale. Looks to be heading up top.
The info is the important thing here. They need to be able to see what's going on. And we talked about just a second ago, they want to aggro this. You want to make sure that you get as aggressive as possible. And look what they're doing.
I really like what Keen Gaming was. So the CK was spotted down bottom,
Yes.
but they know that SG spotted this. So they're
Yes.
like, well, you're going to move. We're going to move as well.
Yeah, it's brilliant. Because it's just taking that extra step. They're thinking to themselves, okay, they saw our CK, they think it's a CK bottom, they're going to play it out normally. We love that. But instead, they're doing a little bit of a swerve here. And I like this because you really need to shut this hero down. And Tianming.
Making sure that the courier wasn't getting sniped there by Bardino. Bardino and Theodore, they've got their eyes on mid. And In could be in trouble. They have the Nightmare set up. We'll see if Tianming's presence is enough to put a stop to it. Charge coming through. And with the cog push back.
Beautiful cogs.
Well, you say that, kind of pushed Theodore in range of Ing, and at the end of the day, Ing goes down. It kept Adriano away. But yeah, they still get the first blood.
Yeah, no Fairy Fire on the Death Prophet is going to go down. Did catch 3 people with it, but so far so good as they already moved. And I really like this, that no hesitation, just TP out.
As you said, well, this is literally the most important part of the game for SG, just making sure that Costa Beale has a great start. If he doesn't, pretty much game over.
Yeah. Nowadays, that has been the counter in pubs and in professional games. Aggro tri-lane this Arc Warden, shut down his early game as much as possible, and never let him recover. Because yes...
Sal getting cancelled as well there, Dark. Keeping himself a little too close to Costa Beale. And that is going to hurt him down in this bottom lane. He needs backup, and he has got it in the form of the clock coming in. Mid lane again, Latino just keeping up the pressure with the Nightmare. Tianming trying to come in, pour some aggression onto Costa Beale. They'll bring him down low. They will go for the chase here. In fact, Costa Beale, he could be in trouble. I don't know if he gets out of this. They're still at the battery assault. They do get the deny. It is still him out of lane, and Theo Lacour will pay with his life. So Keen Gaming still happy with the overall flow there. Would have loved to get the kill, but still... just forcing him out of the lane. It's still job done, gives space for Dark, and it starts to shake the Arc Warden off a little bit of his laning stage.
Yeah, and talking about how important that was, and the casters mentioned it that the analysts mentioned that they felt that this hero was a little bit of a trap, and so far that's come true as SG even giving him more ideal lane. This is not a fun lane to play.
Mid lane. Adriano's doing is falling low, Ing able to harass him back. Bottom lane charge. I'm sure equipped with the Gale, so Dark makes sure that Theo Lacour can't chase down for more. Yeah, having 3 heroes down here. Really putting everything in place to try and get Costa Beale this farm that he desperately needs. Mid lane though, I mean, Ing's doing a good job at harassing Adriano back, and he's suffering in the regen department. He's going to be have to be very careful how he comes forward to this lane. He's having to get salve shipped out to him because of this harassment from the DP.
And he's already been bullied back a little bit. The Death Prophet in just fine fighting shape as up at top, Laposa. Not too happy about this current lane configuration as he only has 2 CS to his name, but none of these lanes are going to be particularly easy for the Underlord as he's going to get jumped on right now.
The Mango
There's a stun.
for the stun. This should be a kill with that sort of a heal bomb. Laposa, 3. Damage over time from the Poison Touch gets the job done. Mid lane, Theo Lacour has the charge, TP coming through, not quite enough damage to finish off Ing, and they do have to be very careful how they go in on that TP with the 2 points in the siphon. Every availability for Ing to turn things round if SG get too close to Keen Gaming's tower. You said overall, these overall lanes, definitely a problem. They need to find some positive action for Costa Beale. He's not going to get it down here. They try and go with the lead in. Yeah, the Gale connects, and Tianming's ready. Cogs will push Costa Beale back. They'll try and look for Bardino, but Tianming oversteps the mark. Bardino will be able to turn, get the kill. SG will keep that bottom lane safe for now. Up top again, GG stepping up the pressure onto the post, so can't really go for a kill with the presence of Theolocore Spirit Breaker in the neighborhood. We just continue to focus on the farm, and farm he certainly is doing is he's 20-10 on the CS at the moment. Very, very strong start for the CK in this top lane.
Yeah, and once again, Keen very happy with the way that the lane configuration has gone. Even though the Venomancer doesn't have a lot, he is out-leveling this Arc Warden. And even saving the skill points in case he has to go into his wards, play the jungle game. If that's the case, so be it, as Dark gonna get charged up. Adriana again backed up by that Death Prophet.
Dark should go down here. Another strong kill for SG in this bottom lane. Tianming tried to come in for the helps. At the same time up top, Keen Gaming will find a kill in return onto the poster. So both teams losing their offlane heroes and securing some good action for the safe laners. And SG is certainly sort of fixing the problems down on the bottom lane and making sure that Costabile is not only getting the CS but now getting some kills as well. But the same thing is happening for GGG, and this CK could turn up to at a pace that this Arc Warden is going to struggle to deal with at the mid game once Keen Gaming start to get their push together with that DP.
And that's why they chose a hero like the Chaos Knight. Instead of opting to go for a later game scenario, they opted to go for a hero that could go aggressive in the laning phase, pressure things early on, and just make it as annoying as possible for this Arc Warden to play, who needs a lot of space to be successful. As at top, the heal bomb comes through. A lot of negative armor here.
Yeah, very nice play here from these two, GGG. And this Dazzle knowing perfectly the limits of the heroes. Mid lane, SG will look to make a go. Onto Ing, he's got the Siphons. It's a hard hero to go on. You see 3 heroes trying for it, even with the magical burst, it's just not enough. A couple of Siphons, and Ing, he has more than enough sustain to deal with 3 heroes trying to gank him. That's the power of the DP world.
Yeah, and if you're not equipped to instantly burst them down, the turnaround potential is way too high, like you mentioned, as both heroes going to run into each other in the jungle now. Tianming trying to protect his Venomancer, who I think is still okay. He's managing to get farmed, didn't opt to go for the wards build, still saving a point in case he has to, but getting aggressive here at bottom. Costabile, as Clockwork, just battling the Bane in the corner. He is slept up though.
Costabile is ticking down low, with the other core there to turn around.
Now Dark's going to be the one in trouble.
He is. SG will get the kill there in that respect. Bardino will go down in return. Tianming, battery assault's enough, so they do find the trades, but again, it is Costabile surviving, getting involved in action, and Gaming unable to really kill off this Arc Warden. He's playing very low on life. He really wants to keep himself in the lane. I believe he does have a salve on the courier once it comes out to him. Have to be careful of any potential movement from Keen Gaming. Lane, Adriano and Ing keeping on par with each other with the CS, both having pretty good wave clear to deal with the pressure from one another. Top lane, the poster's got to be careful. We've seen it a couple of times. This CK+1 can rip apart this Underlord during his early levels. Bottom lane, Tianming, stepping the mark. This is another kill for SG down in this bottom lane. Costabile is getting involved in a lot of action thanks to these sort of movements from Keen Gaming, and it's now become a lane where if you're this Veno or Clock, you've got to seriously question if you really want to actually go down there now as just a lone hero, or even as a duo, as SG are now at the point where they will kill you.
And they're punishing every time. They're creating this perimeter for their Arc Warden every single time. You notice that the Bane hides in that jungle area. He spots the Clockwork as he comes in. He never plays past that point either. And with that ward placed, they'll see any sort of TP rotation come in, as they're going to make a move on mid.
Yeah, Dark, bless him.
Follow up.
He left the bottom lane because of these 3 heroes, and they just chase him straight back the middle. At least Dio and Bardino, the Spirit Breaker Bane combination just causing issues for Dark, who was just hoping to find something from that mid lane. While Sting was up top, of course, the DP sent up there, looked to get the push on, did manage to claim a tier 1. Now with the Phantasm, GGG, he's looking for some solo kill potential with the damage output from his illusions. It will be more than an easy kill. The question is if he gets punished for it. Adriano trying to go in with the help of Theolocore. GGG falling down low, but the heal's there. Wrong's going to be able to save him. He's ticking down low to that urn. The Grave out in time. GGG will be able to walk it off. Keen Gaming coming in time to save the day. And already, this could be another game. We saw Wrong do it game 1 on his Venge, maybe game 2 Wrong on his Dazzle. I'm ready for the plays, because this man, he's been making them so far today.
Not the flashiest player, but always very reliable, as Costabile once again
I mean,
gets
this
another
is
kill.
spooky. This Arc Warden getting this much on this bottom lane. It looked to be a slow start for SG down here, but it's very quickly turned on its head. This is exactly what they wanted for the Arc Warden in this opening 9 minutes.
They were willing to commit 3 heroes for his cause. They had to abandon Laposa and Adriano a little bit, but they haven't even suffered that much. If you just look at the CS, the Mirana, barely behind. And so far, so good for SG. Much better start than last game, as they have kept up overall. Now they're going to take the gold lead. It just barely, though. Theo looking for anything on the map. He really wants to just keep charging this Venomancer.
Yeah, that is the easy kill for SG to look for, especially seeing as he's most of the time left alone. GG down bottom. They have now got the 6 on the clock, though. Jianming, you saw what he could do in game 1. He's ready to go and pick it up in game 2. Theo Lacour looking to try and charge himself out, but he's stuck in the cogs. Battery assault, meaning he can't get nowhere. And Theo Lacour is gone. An instant kill off the back of having that level 6 on clock. Top lane wrong. Spotted out. And they got the Wraith. Takes out the infused range up. And again, Costabile going for it, but wrong. Goes for the grave. Goes for the TP. He's going to be okay. Oh, the damage over time from the Flux nearly enough. But the Fountain Regeneration will keep him safe again. Wrong. Making the smart heads plays.
Barely gets out of there. And doesn't seem to die a lot, but still it's this Venomancer that worries me more than anything.
The net worth is not great, as we can see there.
I like how it just says poor record and then in giant red letters. Or numbers, I should say. They really want you to know that he's suffering right now. He's going to get charged again.
Oh, Theo.
This is a deep dive.
I was going to say, he's going to hold back on that one. That's a little too crazy. Yeah. Even for Theo on his Spirit Breaker. He'll hold back. Bottom lane Keen, they are getting the objectives. Exorcism's up again. They'll move down on the bottom. They get the drag back onto the poster with Phantasm's out. No escape for the Thunderlord. The Silence can't throw out anything in return. The poster's gone. Look at the kill. They'll get themselves the tier 1. Adriano's going to come across. And she may be able to protect the tier 1 for now. He's got the Arcane Ring. He's ready to play. Good levels as well on the Mirana. Still has to respect this illusion a little bit. Theo's there to back him up as well, though. And we'll look for a charge, especially with the 6 now. Has the Nether Strike. SG can look to fight here, especially with the Exorcism now down.
SG, they defend their tower, while at the same time taking that mid-tier 1, getting much more aggressive in this early laning phase of this game, as they sense what they have to do is create as much space as they can opposite the map of the Arc Warden, which they've been largely successful in doing. Is the highest net worth in the game. We talked about how you need to slow down this hero in the laning phase as much as possible. Well, OD, this hero not had a lot of hurdles.
Absolutely not. There was that one death earlier. And the first sort of 2-3 minutes, it looked good for Keen Gaming, but since that, SG kept it stable, turned around, as you say, Costabile exactly where he hoped to be, maybe even ahead of it as well. This is a very, very good start and a good Midas timing for the Arc Warden, no doubt about that.
Considering he had to lane swap immediately to bottom, then on top of that he gets denied and killed. And the laning phase looks a little bit rough, but they devoted 3 heroes down there. I think they learned their mistakes from the previous time they got aggro tri-lane, where they just sort of abandoned him and said, well, maybe you can come back later on. No, doesn't quite work like that. This time around, getting the early Midas, he's going to snowball so quickly. And the problem with this hero has always been, you don't really know when you're supposed to fight. Oftentimes, it's deceptive, because you think to yourself, I've got a Midas and a Maelstrom, why can't I fight? Well, your hero's still relatively weak. You need to get off to that good timing so that you can get to that third item, then join your team for these engagements.
I mean, that's the thing as well. Obviously, Keen Gaming, this is pretty much the first time sort of on an international stage. The question is, how used to fighting against an R1 is this team, Keen Gaming? No to them, they will look for Bardino. He has the Shrine Heal. Costabile has actually TP'd straight in here with just with the illusion, though, so he himself will be fine. But you have to respect, the damage output of this CK. But yeah, Arc Warden, do you think, are these guys, back in China, is it a popular hero? Do they see him much over there?
I don't think so. No. A lot of scenes don't really get exposed to this hero very often.
Yeah.
SG is one of the few teams that pick him on some kind of regularity. Is in mid, Laposa might go down once again.
He's having a tough game on this Underlord. He's been bullied so heavily. There's the 6th death on this Underlord. 14 minutes in. As you said, this is sort of the price that SG are willing to pay because of how much they're focusing on protecting Costabile. They don't seem too fussed about the Underlord going down as it is, but it's adding up. Keen Gaming, they're getting a lot of money from these games.
Yeah, it is kind of the risk that you have to take. The Pit Lord, it's a full mid tower, full HP mid tower. You want to be able to defend it, just spam it out, but they are willing to die for it. And of course, we talked about SG. They're not going to take those fights. You just have every man for themselves in situations like that. At the same time, it's very greedy for them to try to defend these towers, 1-2 heroes at a time. But they don't want to just get run over, Owen. You want to provide some resistance in the form of just sending heroes out. Somebody dies. Not the worst thing that's ever happened to them.
Have I missed? Oh, not that it mattered. It was just the illusion.
That's 8 gold, man.
It's true.
It adds up.
She lost. Cost a bill. 1,300 towards Mithril. Said, and as expected, as soon as that Midas had picked up, the rest of his items are going to start flooding in for the Arc Warden. I mean, as you said, it's the decision of when you want to try and fight this Arc Warden. What is the best way with their lineup to deal with it? Do they need to be heavy on hunting him? Is it all about finding him, or at the moment is it just playing around him? You know, as you said, the rest of SG looking to be where he isn't. You just look to tackle the rest of their team, win the team fights with your ultimates, these exorcism, phantasisms, taking towers yourself. How do you deal with it?
I think you're completely on the mark. You largely ignore him because you don't want to run around the map chasing this hero. 1 or 2 unsuccessful chases, pretty disastrous. Like, the rest of the team is still getting farm. If you take a look at the net worth chart, Adriano is on top of this game right now. He's going to get a lot of farm himself. But it's about these decisive maneuvers to take towers that's going to matter. Because this hero doesn't like his tier 3 being pressured over.
Oh, look how deep Bardino is as well. He knows someone's hiding here, and he is going to find him. Dark does get off the Poison Nova, but with the Fiend's Grip out, they'll be able to take down the Venomancer once again. SG doing a very good job there of just sweeping that tree line and making sure that no one's there ready to set up any sort of reaction from Keen Gaming. Keen Gaming themselves will find the trade up on top, pushing him with the Exorcism. They get the tier 2 in return.
And this is what we're talking about. It's much easier to bring the fight to him, pressure the lanes back, eventually set up for this Roshan, which you're assuming that Costello won't be willing to fight at. Because it does take a lot of items for this Arc Warden's going to be willing to fight. Whereas your CK, from the get-go, 1 item, all he really needs, the armlet. And he's willing to engage.
Yeah, absolutely. And as sort of as the panel said as well, this isn't a game where the Arc Warden can turn up, throw down his little bubble and feel safe in these fights. This is just 4 of these heroes on Keen Gaming don't care about the right clicks. It's all about the magical, the AoE. And CK, he's got the repositioning tool. He can get you out of that bubble. Mid lane, Ing gonna be jumped upon. Theo has the charge into the arrow. It looks like he got the chance to actually use up. Doesn't look like it matters though with the pit down. They've got the control. Siphons won't be enough to save this Death Prophet. SG themselves looking to get a bit of a push on down mid lane. This is going to put a sort of a spanner in the plans for Keen Gaming, looking towards that Roche pit. And SG moving across very aggressively. Adriano looking for the arrow. Just sniper creep. Won't find the connection onto CK. SG themselves, even though they sort of put Keen Gaming off taking Roshan, they don't really have the best lineup themselves for doing it, so they will have to leave that area still for now.
Just reset for both teams as SG playing out their own jungle. And now this Arc Warden is really starting to pick up speed with the Maelstrom. Boots of Travel, I think, is the next item for him. And once he gets that, it's going to be hard for Keen to deal with that. If you look at their lineup, the only hero that easily pushes out the waves is the Death Prophet. I think the Venomancer has been traumatized by every single time he shows himself as the hook shot flies in. We get gone on.
Jamming, and Gigi going to make quick work of him. Moonlight did come out. Not that would have mattered. They did have dust on Tianming, but at least with the Moonlight, they maybe had to find something in return. Phantasm coming out from GGG, but he's surrounded by 4. He'll try and rip into Adriano, finds the stun, but the damage coming out from Costabille's too much. He'll take down the CK. Ing actually popping the Phantasm, the Exorcism, despite losing the CK. See if he can get anything off the back of it. Looks like the poster maybe the one to fall as the rest of SG do get out of there. They have the Yules to hold him in place. Ing finishes off the kill. Rest of SG, see if they can shut Keen Gaming off on the way back out. Smart TPs over to the shrine to cut this off. Wrong there with the shallow grave. unlikely to be enough to keep this clock alive as Costabile continues to hammer into him. Another kill for the Arc Warden, and SG aren't done yet. They have the Nether Strike to close the gap onto Wrong. Again, SG finding kill after kill, only losing Laposa on the Underlord. And this is giving a lot. Costabile continues to be in a very powerful position off the back of those kills. Nearly has the boots of travels done pre-20 minutes. The Arc Warden's looking very scary this game, Will.
Yeah, 2 seconds ago he had 500 gold and we're talking about going for the Boots of Travel next. Now he's almost got it fully completed, even though it says 1k gold lead. You can tell that Keen, they're starting to panic a little bit. They popped the DPL for that.
Just for fun.
CK went in by himself, more or less. They weren't able to grab any sort of objective off of that. They were just trying to get kills, and that's when you know a team has lost a little bit of its pace, because there's no long-term goal for that. You get a kill, what does that really accomplish for you? As SG, yeah, their Bane is really underfarmed, as is their Spirit Breaker, but Costabile is tops in this game by a hefty margin now. He's going to push in mid, and if you look at this, the Chaos Knight doesn't easily deal with this. It does take quite a bit. They do manage to bring down the Arc Warden Tempest double, but it does cost him half his health. The lane's already been pushed in. The CK not nearly farming as quickly. This is a hero that predominantly wants to fight.
Because we're talking about Costabile at the time, Adriano also in a fantastic position on the Mirana. We saw earlier, in the laning phase, he was having a bit of a tough time. We're still finding the CS, but consistently getting bullied back by Ing. And now that the movements are coming through and the fight
spotted that. The ward, it saw it the entire way through.
Straight out.
Look how early he GG's. Last game, it felt like he was tempting fate so often. This time around, gets out of there immediately. Just assumes that they're bottlenecking downwards, and
Bardino, with this wraparound, getting the dispel from the high ground. In fact,
they don't know. They thought it was on the high ground.
He's got that Invis rune, and he's going to get away with that. So it puts a total stop to it. King Gaming, not really sure what to do themselves off the back of that smoke being revealed like that.
That was such a waste of time. During this time, Costabile, another 1,000 gold.
Getting crazy. It really is. This Arc Warden is, that net worth is just going to shoot off the charts.
Yeah. With the Boots of Travel, he's going to be a nuisance for them all around the map, which means that Keen always have to go back. They're going to be opening themselves up for these pickoff opportunities. It doesn't take much more for Costabile to get really scary for these individual heroes trying to defend towers, as he's going to immediately Boots of Travel, start farming Ancients, shut this mid wave, check for the Roshan at the same time.
I mean, that's the thing as well. Sure, Keen Gaming had this strength in terms of full 5-man, the brute force that they can offer in terms of pushing and taking objectives, but you say when it comes down to sending someone back to deal with an Arc Warden push, who can actually do that on Keen Gaming's lineup?
Yeah. It would probably be the Venomancer. The Venomancer wards have to be the one to deal with it, but even that doesn't feel too good because the Venomancer goes down really easily. And if the Veno shows and the rest of your team is showing, pickoff opportunities will come for SG. Costabile.
This is a big kill.
Waiting up here. They really want this. They can take it down fast. Here comes the charge.
He's not going to have a chance to react by the looks of it. He needs help and he needs it quick. There's going to be the ult coming in from Underlord as back of that. It's actually cancelled. Now they can look to turn, and indeed the arrival of the rest of his team, it's allowing him to turn this. Bardino looking to fall as well. They've already lost Spirit Breaker. Bardino trying to get himself out to safety. It's quite speedy. Keen Gaming doesn't look like they'll find it. They do stop that push up top, but Adriano, he's ratting down bottom. And off the back of that, with all of Keen Gaming coming in to defend, they only kill the Spirit Breaker.
That's pretty nice for them, though. They didn't lose the CK, and that's the important target.
Sure.
Is if they lose the CK right in front of that tier 2, that's pretty unfortunate. I think it's worth it for the attempt alone.
Okay.
And they did get some damage down to that bottom area. Adriano did get a lot of farm, and now they're going to go for a smoke of their own, it looks like. As 4 heroes on the side of SG. Looks like they want to go for the Roshan, or at least secure this area, and they are. And are they walking in here? Yes, they are. This might be the first Roshan that they get out of 6.
Yeah, that we've seen the series. It looks like they will have it no problem at all. Keen Gaming, no interest in coming across the...
They're going to rock it, but it's way too late as Keen.
I mean, there's a charge coming in as a GGG. See what he can find off this. going to be cancelled, but SG very comfortable and very, very content with the state of this game at the moment. They have maybe just, it looks, only a 1k gold lead, but the fact that they have it with the heroes that they have, and the fact that Costa Biela has had more than good of an opening that he requires as this Arc Warden, that's what puts the fear into Keen Gaming's lineup.
They have done a pretty good job of keeping up overall, OD, but it's the team fights once this Arc Warden starts to get 4 or 5 slotted that you're a little bit concerned about. The good news for Keen, though, is that the CK has done a very good job of keeping up, and we saw how strong he was in that last game, even being at a significant net worth disadvantage. The illusions alone, talk about a Tempest double.
Yes.
You got 4 of those suckers.
True. Yeah, out in illusions. DG's there as well for the next fight if it does kick off, but SG more interested in grouping up on the other side of the map.
Continue to avoid fights.
Yeah.
Put Keen into a do or die position where they feel as though they need to go for these desperation style pushes and force them to use that ultimate if they need to. As Adriano, we haven't talked about him nearly enough, has kept up.
He's having a great time.
Yeah, he's going to be a threat in his own right.
Really has completed Mione on its way out. SG, we have the smoke from mid, trying to catch out King Gaming on this bottom lane. Charges in onto GGG. Some of his team's already leaving. In fact, he will as well. TP's out just in time. Very close though. King Gaming will, for the most part, be able to get out. Wrong, always still left behind. And SG there hunting. I don't know if Wrong can get himself out of this. They've got a lot of stun. Wrong looks like he will go down. They've got the Fiend's Grip. No one left to help out the poor old Dazzle. And SG will manage to find something off the back of forcing King Gaming away from that bottom lane. But tier 2s on both sides did still end up falling. And the tier 2s in the mid lane for both teams. Still very close in terms of the numbers, but you can't help but feel that SG do feel slightly more confident and ahead in terms of what they're trying to achieve with their heroes. And as you can see, bottom lane, still with that Aegis intact, they want to try and break the high ground. Keen Gaming almost certainly will have to react to this. They themselves looking to try and find the tier 2 mid, but they've got to head back. Base is in trouble.
There's no ward set up either, just one, as they're trying to beat on this tower, but this is not an easy attempt for SG. OD is they don't have that Pit Lord ultimate, that get out of jail free card, and now it's going to be Keen pushing forward. SG, they've got to.
Oh, they're looking for the wraparound.
Take this fight.
They have the Invis. Yeah, onto GGG. GGG could kick something big off. SG looking to get everyone out there. Bardino TPs. Oh, he makes it in time as well. Just before the hook shot connected. Oh, that was very, very close there. But SG actually get everybody out of there. King Gaming can't quite find the catch.
I thought for sure they would have at least lost the main, but unable to do so, and now SG pipe completed on this Underlord. They're starting to get pretty strong here. The Venomants are going to be neutralized as, see right here, the Bane was in the middle of everyone, and
the hook just a millisecond too late.
He felt like he could go for more. He felt like his team was going to kill that Bane without him. Going for a little bit too much.
Oh, look at this. SG at the high ground, but GGG blinks straight past them. Gets the Phantasm off. Looks towards Bardino, but a the Nightmare buys Bardino time. He turns with the Brain Sap and the Fiend's Grip. That quick heads-up play for Bardino is going to allow SG to turn the entire fight around. Leap forward from Adriano, looking to force back the clock. The Grave comes down in time. They've lost two on both sides. Ing still getting a lot done with this exorcism. Adriano getting surrounded, loses the Aegis. Triple kill for Ing. This Death Prophet just absolutely cleaning up. Nightmare comes through. Adriano still silenced. Ing trying to chase. Hook shot up for Tianming. They're going to get this Murano as well. Ultra kill for Ing. In a fight that looked like it was very close to going wrong. That reaction there from Bardino, really nice at the start to punish the aggressive blink from the CK. But it doesn't matter that the CK goes down. It was all sort of a bait. They all focus this CK, and they just ignore the fact that this Death Prophet's coming in from the low ground and just slowly tearing them to pieces with the exorcism.
That was a beautiful play by Bardino.
Yeah.
He set that fight up so well. He gets a sleep on himself so he doesn't immediately get bursted. Grips. But meanwhile, during that entire time, we were also baited. We thought this fight was going to go pretty well for SG. They were perfectly set up onto the high ground. They had their shrine available for them too. All of the circumstances, they should have been able to win that fight pretty handedly. They had the Aegis on top of that. I'm not sure what else they needed there. DP just did way too much work as
This
now
is
they're
another
just losing
casualty.
heroes.
Yeah, absolutely. He's got a shot if he needs it. It doesn't even need to. There's a full Shivers Guard on Ing. Mid lane, though. GGG's in trouble. Graves there from wrong. Is there any way of getting the CK out? I don't think there is. Surely not. He's got the arm. Oh, no. He's going to live. The armlet toggle's enough. He dodges it, but the Nightmare's there from Bardino. They need this kill. It's such a big one to get, and they will find it. SG take down GGG. They now look towards Wrong. They have the root. They have the control. The self-grave. The TP. Is Roy actually going to get himself out? He is. Back to base. The full damage is too much. The damage over time still ticks him out. And now bottom, SG, they find 2. They're ready to find 3. The Nightmare Arrow. Tianming coming in, trying to buy time here to save Ing. Costabil's working in onto him. Is the damage enough? It is. Ing's down. Tianming's going to pay with his life as well as Costabil and Adriano clean up. Dark trying to turn things around with the poison over, but Costabil, he's already TP'd out with his main arc. He's going to be fine, but this Venom may not be. He tries to TP, but Adriano's in with the arrow. SG clean up. Get the team wipe. Triple kill for Adriano.
And a swing the other way is Keen. Not fully geared up and ready to fight. They had to commit a lot to trying to save that Chaos Knight and unable to do so. And once again, the Bane in the perfect position, catches the
Really
DP
nice.
on the south end of things. Allows them to wipe house.
What a great series to start the day off as well. These first 2 games so far. Oh, look at this. GGG's now that jumps in. Adriano's down for 70 seconds. They've got to get out the poster. Look at the TP back home. Theo, is he going to be able to keep himself alive long enough? He is. He'll get out. GGG has got to be careful. Wrong with that. It's great. Just saving him again. This damage output that SG can kick out. Whilst Key Gaming try and goes for those sort of plays, it's incredibly terrifying.
And once again, it goes the other way as the Mirana dies. Still, wasn't a team wipe by any means. Gold lead still in favor of SG. Costabil right back to farming again. I think he learned his lesson. He said, guys, I was really far ahead and I still couldn't fight. Let's just reset things. I'll let my illusions push things out. No problem. But it's this Death Prophet, almost level 20, has quite a lot of farm on him. Shiva's Guard complete. BKB going to be following shortly after. And it's the Death Prophet that they need to get rid of in these fights. The
Absolutely.
CK,
They have to remove Ing.
not that big of a deal as he picks up an Arcane Rune, wants to be able to use that ultimate if possible, but with no objectives readily available for him. They would really like it if Roshan was up. But instead, he's going to shove out top wave with this Dark. Going to be the person best suited to dealing with this Dark Warden split push.
You know, you need to be very careful about showing on this top lane.
He has done so much for SG in this game as a 4-position, 5-position Bane.
I mean, yeah, as a Bane. No, we see the Bane seems to be coming back into popularity at the moment, but a lot of games where we just see a Bane suffer. Sure, you get some good intel on the map, but Bane, it's very easy to just constantly feed on this.
Look at this trap at bottom. As mid tower does get taken by the Tempest double, what they're waiting for is for Dark to push up. And Hook flies, doesn't connect.
Just trying for the poster or Bardino there towards mid, but doesn't quite get it. Diffusal Blade now done for Costabil. It's a lot of damage that will fly out from this Arc Warden if he can find the right position to be in. But as we've said, it is hard in these fights still, despite the huge amounts of farm he has. Once he's got the completed Hurricane Pike, then at least with the extra sort of stats, he's going to feel a little more confident. And the other cores there hidden, ready to sort of go for a bait. But the question is, can these 2 heroes actually do this?
I'm not sure they can, but
Ing's still very, very big. The other core still being very patient.
maybe if he gets lower.
I think they've got to decide against this. Meanwhile, GGG in the mid
Adriano
lane,
goes down.
actually able to get the jump onto Adriano. He's looking for more. Laposa will immediately Dark Rift out, and indeed the other core just stays hidden. He knows they cannot fight down bottom. GGG able to close the gap into Bardino. This time, the Nightmare not enough to save him. Double kill for this CK. And I've got to say, this Blink Dagger pickup on the CK. You know, GGG, we saw him very good with it in Game 1 and Game 2 as well. It's caught Adriano off guard 2 times. You know, this is a couple of times that he just blinks in, has the easy gap close, and Adriano can't do anything to react to.
Yeah, and what's weird is that he knew the rest of his team was bottom, unable to do anything in return for that, as this mid tower, Phantasm is up, here comes the Exorcism, it ignores this bubble, they don't care too much, it's a pulling forward.
That's just a Tempest double, but will be forced back, makes it harder for Costabil to keep this defense going, has the bubble.
This is a lot of damage.
Yeah, they continue to pump into that tier 3. Tempest double will go down. Full heart now completed for GGG.
fight going to come online, and Keen, they just want to open up this tower for later. The Roshan is going to come up soon as well. Now they got to get back as the charge.
Look at that. Oh, it's beautiful. Straight from the midst of it. What will it add up to, though? That's the question. He just turns onto the Theolicor. He's gone. Can they get anything more? The poster stuck in the cogs. Dark, safe for the moment being. Shallow Grave comes out from wrong. The Nightmare's there to cancel the TP. Dark will pay with his life. They just leave it in there for now. He finally goes down. Fiend Script comes out just in time. Bardino gets the grab onto GGG. That's the CK out. No buyback. He's down for 70 seconds. SG, they've got a great window of opportunity to get some big objectives.
They need a Roshan with this. And this will be the second Roshan of the game. They struggled with it so much last game. This time around, it's theirs to take. Starting to get low already, Keen. They did open things up a little bit by taking that tier 3 tower mid, but maybe not worth this trade. And without a hookshot available and no steal opportunity, where's the rest of SG? They need to get here.
Yeah, SG's got to do this quick, and I don't think they're doing it quick enough. Wrong already sort of fronting the defense as he just waltzes in from the depths, and he says, go on, take it. And
Really
SG
feel like this would be a mistake for them not to be able to take. Hostabil actually went bottom instead of immediately committing for this Roshan. And
I mean, SG, they're charging in. Theo, of course, looking for it wrong.
Run.
Straight away, trying to kick things off. Arrow comes in. Look at this wraparound from Adriana. Badino, they'll take down the Dazzle. Nightmare set up onto Ing. This is your Death Prophet just evaporating. He's got the self-fuels. It's not enough. The route continues. They lose another. Keen Gaming losing multiple heroes around this Roshan pit. And they're going to get more as well. Tianming, hook shots up to the Ancient, but the charge is there from Theolicor. They should have the control if they can get the Nightmare off, and they do indeed. They surround the clock, and that should be Tianming slowly but surely going. Now he's pretty tanky with the drums in the urn. They have the charge. He's got the cogs. He's taken their interest away, but it still ends up in him dying. They did, of course, finish off Roche on the sidelines whilst this was all going on. Costabil now has the Aegis in his hands, and this game is looking very tricky now for Keen Gaming. SG hitting all the objectives. Costabil continue to be in the dream world for this arc. Won an 8-11, level 22. SG are ready to go high ground, and the question is if Keen Gaming have the tools to stop it. They may even need to buy back 25 seconds. If SG can force one of these out, it would be brilliant. It's just a small window. We'll see how much they can abuse it.
This tower's already low. Costabil's gonna start knocking on the front door as they have to deal with this illusion. Very tanky. CK commits for it, and it looks as though they are backing.
Okay.
I feel like this is a fight they could have committed to, at least on the tower, but...
I mean, I guess they know that all the ultimates are there. Yes. Exorcism's back up, Phantasm as well as Poison Nova. They are to... You've got to respect those, even with the Aegis, as we've seen. The Aegis does not mean you can win these fights.
There is a benefit, though, of going aggressively against that Death Prophet. If you can force her ult defensively, then you just immediately back out. If you can get out with all your lives, then you'll reset, go back in as soon as it's done. And this is exactly what they're going for. They want to go for these aggressive plays. I like it as
this
SG.
Could be perfect.
They're playing for the win right now. If they can find Dark, maybe they can transition this into a high ground push. They've got the angle here.
Oh, it's the core.
They're trying to find more.
Costabil has the Tempest double. Look at this damage coming through. King Gaming, they're trying to react. He's coming for the side. Wrong has the Grave just in time. Nightmare comes. Tianming goes straight onto the backlines. Hookshot onto Adriana, but Adriana leaps out. He'll be fine. They'll take down the Venomancer, who instantly buys back. GGG trying to clean up. Takes down Costabil once. That's the edge. He's gone. The poster falling low as well. He's still alive. They can't kill this DP. They've lost 2 SG, and they're potentially more with the Grave, keeping it alive. This DP's going to be fine. He's backing up. Saved for the time being, and GGG just cleaning up the backliners. The stun comes out onto Adriano. This Marauder, can he finish off the kills? Gets wrong, but no, GGG lands the crucial crit to take down Adriano before he himself dies. Ultra kill for the CK. SG get wiped despite the Aegis. As we were saying, Aegis does not mean an easy fight at all. If Keen Gaming can keep their cause alive, and they did, that DP and CK went absolutely ham.
Everything looked perfect for them, but they couldn't kill Ing at the time that it mattered. His ult did so much damage in that fight. I want to see how much damage he dealt in that engagement alone. I actually can't believe they lost that fight. They even defused him down after the Yule Scepter. I felt as though at that point, SG had that fight in control. Costabil was in a good position, and now
DD on the CK. They're trying for this. This CK has a DD. They've got to be so careful. Adriana, jump forward, looking to finish him off. He's falling down low. Is there going to be any sort of save? There's not. That's the CK down. SG they're holding. They did lose the melee racks, but they're making sure that they make Keen Gaming pay for it. Not only the CK going down, they'll catch the clock as well. That's the gem hitting the decks back into the hands of SG. So SG losing the racks, but that's 2 big kills to get off the back of it.
This is like the weirdest swings in a game I think I've ever seen, or in a series, I should say, as one side just trades lives, the other obliges and does the same to try to keep things close, I guess. As they do manage to nab a racks, and now it's going to go the other way.
It's going back the other
SG
way.
doing the same thing.
Oh boy. There's no clock for 50 seconds, and Tianming has been a crucial part of these fights for Keen Gaming. No exorcism still. Phantasm's there, but the CK's down for 40. He may have to buy back if they wish to hold on to some of these structures.
The arrow, it hits.
It does. Costa Bill gets a fair bit of damage down onto this DP, and indeed he has to buy back. They're getting the CK back into this, but Leposa says, we're out of this, boys. Looking to take the ball back. He gets them all. Leposa takes them out back to safety. The buyback from GGG will not earn them any kills for Keen Gaming because the save's there from the Underlord.
And this time it's SG that gets away without having to trade anything. Their first successful trade. They do lose that Rax mid, but in return they get a full set at bottom. They did a lot of damage to that mid tier 3 tower with Costa Bill's Tempest double. They got the gem back at the same token, I think. And now it's Keen trying to take a structure as they are sending in the Phantasm Illusions into that shrine. This next fight, though, going to be key. How they use the Exorcism. They use it defensively. Maybe they can't take any structures after that, as SG high ground is very strong. Might want to wait, though, another 50 seconds for the Dark Rift to come back online for Leposa. That's been the key for them in these engagements.
It really has. I mean, that single play alone is making all the difference. Definite casualties would have been had if the GGG CK was able to get his hands onto the members of SG.
Yeah, they're smoked up, pushing in.
If they can kill the CK, it may even just be game over.
Yeah, Keen want to take this fight, though. They've got the high ground.
They really do. Leposa, he's the one to front it, comes in with the 2-man route. They've got to be careful. Keen Gaming charge is coming through onto GGG, blinks in, the charge connects. Wrong trying to hit him up with the backup. They're losing the heroes pretty quick as Bardina just melts to the power of the Exorcism. They're focusing in, has the PKB. Can he keep himself alive with the self-heals? He's buying time.
Oh, they're going to get him down.
Rod comes back in, he gets the grave off. Is it enough to keep him alive, though? It doesn't look like it. The charge is there. Double kill for Theolacore. GGG surrounded. He's still trying his best to fight up, but the control from the pit from the Underlord brings him down. They've lost 3. Leposa should tick out. 4 HP, 5 HP.
He's already healed up.
He's going to be 1 HP. No, he's dead. Oh, he's going to live. Oh,
He's all right.
is it? He is. Oh no,
He
he's
gets
not.
through the run.
Oh, he's still alive. Finally goes down. The rocket will finish him.
That was the buyback, though. If they can take down this arc,
The silence. Tianming's got the control, but the other core charges across. They're trying to keep Ing off Costa Bill.
is that enough to save him, though?
They're looking to fight. Costa Bill's trying to be into Tianming. The rod is going to connect onto his arc ward, and Ing, he's chasing him. Can he actually finish off this arc ward? It would be such a huge kill for Keen Gaming.
He's got Yule Scepter up soon in 1 second. There's the charge, though. If they get this
Constable's
kill, he
turning.
doesn't have buyback.
He's got to be so careful, Ing. 3 men down on his team. There's the Nether Strike. Ing's down for
doesn't have
110. SG may be down 2, but it's Keen Gaming that are down 4. No buybacks at all. Can SG actually get this sort of finishing push together, though? That's the question.
He's going to pop all the shrines right now.
He knows he has to keep himself out on the map. They can't afford to go back. This is such an opening for SG to get at least another set of racks for sure.
There might not be enough time, though, Owen. 18 seconds until the CK spawns. He's going to send his illusion in mid to push out this wave instead. And luckily for Keen, they did lose their CK early on, so he's going to respawn shortly. The Clockwork soon to follow. But look at the buybacks. Only 1 available. And it's a relatively inconsequential one.
I mean, it looks like Keen Gaming will be fine for now, but these fights, very costly. And
Whoever takes the next fight successfully, without any buybacks on either side, if any fight is like a 3 for 5 or anything like that, the game is just over. And Aegis, name of the game right now.
they've got to get this right. It's all about it. When we pin it back up, it's slightly longer respawn. A couple of minutes until Roshan.
Without any of those
3
buybacks
minutes, 3
available,
minutes.
the Aegis and the cheese are going to be so valuable.
Yeah.
So
2 minutes
push out.
Be precise.
still. The CK, quite strong, has that heart, almost has a Manta style completed too. And Costa build, even though he's 6-slotted, it doesn't feel as though he can fight at the same pace as his Death Prophet.
No. The damage output certainly comes quicker and faster from King Gaming's lineup. It's just the positioning of Costa Bill has been very good in these fights. He's able to sort of out-sustain them. He's got good kite potential as well once the BKBs and such are gone. And he can keep his distance, and he can draw the fight out to the stage that, even with the sustain of Ron and the Dazzler, it's just not enough. Oh, Tempest double. Get ripped to pieces. I say that. Nice bump yourself sometime, Costa Bill.
They're trying to lose it. They're trying to pressure this top lane as much as they can, just so they always know where Keen is. And they want to secure this Roshan area. They already took down the shrine. They understand that this is the most important objective on the map right now. Yeah. Even more important than trying to take down a tower, it's this Aegis that's going to mean a lot for both sides. If Keen Gaming can get it on that CK, SG would struggle to take him down twice. He has a lot of health on him. And conversely, SG, being able to get it on Adriano would be huge. He's got a double damage rune bottled up. In anticipation of this fight, SG gonna hold this high ground. They're playing very patiently this time around, not willing to risk anything. 16k gold lead, but they understand that the team fight is still very strong for Keen. Cannot underestimate it. This Death Prophet, 9-second BKB still available on her.
Level 25s all coming online right now. Tiaros, 30% lifesteal. Nothing too surprising from either side. Opting to tank up as well on this TP, noting just knowing how important it is for him to stay alive. As long as he outlives that initial jump from SG, the damage, it's going to come out from him. As we saw from the stat that popped up, 37k damage 44 minutes in. That's absolutely insane. This is incredible numbers being pumped out by the Death Prophet.
Yes, and for Keen, the objective is keep your Death Prophet alive as long as possible. Use your keep your Dazzle alive at the same token. Try to get at least 2 graves off in that engagement.
I mean, look at it. It is annoying. This Arc Warden split push the Tempest double. Suddenly the CK's out of mana. He's down to half health. He has to go back to base. It's so... If they can coordinate a fight around sort of just... You're not going to kill a hero necessarily with Tempest double in terms of the cores at least, but you're going to be able to get them to a point where they have to back up.
Yes.
And then suddenly... Keen Gaming, there's this little window where there's just 4 heroes that are ready for fight, and a core, he's back in the fountain.
What SG wants to do is they want to try to isolate that Dazzle, make things as annoying as possible, play around that Death Prophet ulti. If you can't immediately burst, you got to get out, start the fight over again as Keen. They recognize too, this Aegis is up.
It's so important.
Yes, and both teams, they anticipate this. This is going to be the big fight for both sides. Whoever gets on top of this fight,
Keen prepared
SG.
for this. They have the Moonlight closing as well. SG.
They want to take the high ground. Keen. They're all around that area, but they don't have their Death Prophet. They might just get caught unawares.
Yeah, there's no Ing. In fact, SG, they may just go for Ing instead. They know that they're split up.
North.
Arrow, one will connect onto Tianming, the poster. Drops down the pin of Mallet onto Costa Bill, sending the Tempest double in. Dark, Wrong, and the rest of them in trouble. In fact, they lose Wrong already. That's the Dazzle down. Dark, he's going to fall as well. 2 down on the side of Gaming. GGG is trying to turn up the fight. He wants to go for this. Goes straight onto Costa Bill. Gets the real Arc Warden. Takes him down, but GGG himself is gone. The damage from Adriano, too much for the CK in trying to chase and look for the kills that Keen Gaming desperately need. The control from the Clockwork will allow them to take down the Spirit Breaker, but they really need something more. And can they get it? They have the rod onto Bardino, forces himself away, but with the chase down from the Shiva's guard, Spain's got to be careful. Has got the Glimmer Cape. Oh, that arrow onto Tianming could cause issues. Costa Bill's Tempest doubles back in, takes down the Clockwork. They've got the Pit of Malice route onto Ing. He's trying to get himself out of there. The Exorcism's still going to work. SG has to respect that. They'll back away, just leaving the Tempest double behind. There's still a gem on the decks there. We'll see who's able to get their hands on it. GGG jumps forward and will get himself back into the fight. Did, of course, across to the buyback of both GGG and Tianming. Buying back into that engagement, as well as of course the Benno at the start of it. 3 buybacks again being used pretty much straight up by Keen Gaming. And of course it's the other side, it's SG that get their hands on Roshan, get the Aegis, get the cheese. This could be the be-all end-all for Keen Gaming's next defense. Lack of buybacks, the enemy having the Aegis and the cheese. Can they really hold this sort of push?
And they know that Exorcism is down. That's the ability that's kept Keen in this game, despite their net worth disadvantage. And SG, They had to commit the buyback on Costabile. He has a double damage rune. It is running out.
Okay.
Not the worst fight ever for Keen. It's certainly not the best as the Aegis and the Cheese go the other way.
Leaves them vulnerable.
Yeah, and now Death Prophet, 8-second BKB, still strong. But Bardino just done too much in these engagements. That Glimmer Cape playing keep away with the Death Prophet, and now it's Adriano starting to rack up a lot of farm. Almost everyone's starting to get 6 slotted, at least the cores. So in that regard, things are quite even. Costabile gonna go for that Hex next. Wants another form of control for his team. Amp up that team fight a little bit. And I think Keen, without the buybacks, they know they've got to just hold on, sit inside their base for the time being.
Do not want to make any rash decisions at this stage. The control that SG have on the map.
They can't allow this Tempest Double to get on top of their towers. That's why they're just all sitting here. Look at how much damage it does.
Huge issue. Costabile, as you said, you know, even though he did expend that buyback, still making sure maximum effect came out of it, turning into that fight. Spectacle, nothing less from Costabile, very, very experienced Dark Warden player. This is the hero that they will try and find games to play it in, as if they can, because they know how strong he is with it and how good the team is at playing around that. And we've seen that from start to finish this game from SG. They've set this up perfectly for Costabile.
Yeah, he seems very comfortable on this hero every single time that I see him play it. Understands what he needs to do, plays this hero very decisively.
I mean, very rarely, I don't think at all this game have we seen him make a play that's been like, he shouldn't have been there, or he's been misplaced in a team fight. The only times he's gone down is when GGG makes a very smart play where he actually manages to find the lockdown on the right arc ward. And that sort of jump, the blink on the CK is hard to play around, but everything else has been.
The arrow connected on the Death Prophet, but no follow-up. Instead, they're just going to grab this tower. It goes down so quickly as they open things up a little bit more. They still have an Aegis available. Look at how farmed that Mirana is. Has a Daedalus. Has that cheese available, 3,000 gold, and now the Hex is completed on Costabile.
It is crazy. I mean, as we said, we've been talking the whole game about Costabile and how well he's farming. The fact that Adriano is keeping up, you know, with an Arc Warden who effectively has the effective double minus. Absolutely insane farm for Adriano. And King Gaming are trying to fight. Hook shot in, coming in straight away from Tianming. Adriano pops the cheese, back up to full health. BKB and the Exorcism's out from Ming. Theolacore trying to focus the base as well as Costabile, but Theolacore's down. Wrong will survive for now. GGG grabs the post from the sidelines. They're picked apart too. They themselves have lost Tianming, but SG, they have to back up. Can GGG catch anything more out of this? Blinks forward. No Reality Rift available to close the gap. SG will get away. King Gaming do push them back. They lose half of the racks on that top lane. Still, the other alive.
That was very well done by Keen. They held the line. They made sure that their Dazzle didn't go down without a fight, even though the Spirit Breaker committed. And I like that they didn't try to chase or overly chase. They kind of kept in a tight ball to make sure that they didn't just get isolated and picked off. They protected each other. They did lose the Clockwork for that, but grabbing the Underlord, wasting more time on the Aegis, and killing the Spirit Breaker in the same breath is going to be well worth it for them as the Courier gets hit a little bit.
And that
a lot of
heavy
valuable
loads. Yeah, that's a good job for them. They didn't lose it, man. That's your halberd. Now for the Venom. This comes out.
Look at that damage.
It's nasty. Dark. Quite a bit of a punch from that. He is there to help him clear out the illusions.
Yeah. But with that Talisman, he just evaded most of that.
Yeah.
That halberd going to be very important for that Venomancer, who doesn't deal a lot of damage independently, but if he can stay alive long enough, get that ultimate. Now the CK going for Scotty next. And I think for Keen right now, the objective is just to get everyone as strong as possible. Get 6 slotted on all your cores. Defend your base. Wait for them to make too aggressive of a move on the side of SG, as we saw earlier. This is one of the more unprotected 22,000 gold leads that I've seen in a while.
Absolutely, yeah. With this sort of lead, and still struggling because of the plays that are coming out from Keen, they absolutely have to hand it to Keen, the way that they are holding last playing at such a disadvantage. And a lot of it I feel it down to as well just how much the CK can do with the items that he has. You know, GGG is 10k behind Costa Bickle, but it doesn't matter. With that Phantasm, with the catch that he has, it's a dead hero no matter what. He doesn't need any more items to bring down the cores of SG at the moment. He's kitted up enough to fight against them, despite regardless of what SG buy on their cores now.
SG, they might have found an opening here. Theo wants to try to ultimate, but...
And they will be able to have a good retreat here with the silence onto 2. Arrows flying in. It's not going to quite make the connection. And that was about, Spirit Breaker cancelled his charge there, didn't he?
What he wanted to do was stop
avoid?
it, try to go for the ultimate when he gets a little bit closer, and then they immediately get the kill. I think he was like trying to do that like quick stop, go for the Death Prophet, but wasn't able to do so. And that would have been a really good opportunity for SG. There was only 2 heroes there. The rest of Keen nowhere near that vicinity, but instead they've got to start over as SG pressuring this mid lane, getting rid of the creeps, making their way down as they already did take one of the racks up at top. They're all swarming in this area right now.
This CK has to be careful.
They have a Hex.
If they get wind of him in on side,
They know which one the real one is.
Oh, the hook shot, Chan Ming, straight away, coming through. GGG's in as well. Have they got the damage? They haven't. Constable will be able to get himself away, and the poster says, we're getting out of this one, boy. They get straight out of there.
Oh, this is so good for them.
Phantasm, Exorcism, BKB's popped, and Keen Gaming can't get the fight that they want because this Underlord just takes SG straight out of it.
They use nearly everything, and this might just be the opening that they needed. SG, Roshan isn't quite up yet, but without Exorcism, I think they're strong enough now.
No,
That's a huge expenditure.
Absolutely. I think we're really seeing the strength again. There's so many games where this hero is picked because fundamentally the skills, that's the way it can be played, are just so powerful in situations like this. And very rarely do we see games where it has this sort of effect. But this matchup against these heroes that rely on these big team fight ultimates with long cooldowns, it's incredibly invaluable.
Yes. We saw that Death Prophet ult. He was ready to fight. He really wanted to take that one. He felt like the angle was very good. Possible was found almost immediately, and then everyone's poop gone.
Oh, it's easy. Let's be careful. Links back. SG coming back across. As you say, it's all very nice being able to get out, but the big thing is how much you can do off the back of it.
Yes, and now this is going to be one of their better moments.
For Ing, he's got a lot of armor, a lot of backup. Will be forced back. SG sending in Costavil's Tempest double. He's got a lot of sustain from his teammates.
Even without any of these spells, it seems like
strong.
SG, they're still reluctant to go for that high ground. It's still scary for them. It's not easy for them to burst things down. With the 3x Plague Wards on the ground, Keen feel very comfortable holding this high ground area as now the Mirana ulti popped just outside of vision, but they've got sentries.
Yeah, and Phantasm's back up. With the Octarine, Ing's pretty much got Exorcism. In fact, Exorcism is there now. The big ults are back up. SG, can they really do this with these ults
really
in play?
far forward.
He gets hexed up though. They have the charge back. Fiend's Grip as well. Onto the Death Prophet. Can they get rid of Ing? He's falling low. Wrong's there. Just in time with the Grave. Allows Ing the chance to get the BKB off. He backs away. He still goes down. Costabil gets the big kill. Takes down the DP, but it costs Costabil's life. The Fitner's out as well, but the mass buybacks coming in from Keen. SG have tried their best to clean it up. They're focusing GGG. Defensive Nightmare buying time for Bardino. He's playing around with GGG. Again with the Glimmer Cape is not enough. GGG gets the kill, but it costs him his life. GGG down, but SG are taking heavy casualties. They've lost 3 overall. Keen again having to buy back, but they're doing a lot with it. They find the poster as well in the mid lane. That's the Underlord going to go down slowly but surely as well. They may have had to buy back themselves, but they're in a very good position to force SG themselves to also buy back.
The unfortunate thing, though, was that the Death Prophet did use his ultimate. Thought that he was going to live for half a second longer. But at the same time, Roshan is available. This is a big objective. This is going to be the first one in the game for Keen if they can nab this one. And it's only the Mirana alive. I'm not sure. I'm almost certain there's no way that SG is going to commit buyback for this.
Absolutely not. They've got to let this go.
And with the Cheese, Horn, Aegis on these cores, we saw how much they struggled taking them down in the first place.
If they have the cheese or the edges on in, like that last fight, totally different. He ends up getting solo. He had a lot of armor, but I think it was pretty much what a the lightning proc from the Mjolnir that got that last bit of magical down on.
And it's all those hexes that make him very hesitant to use that ultimate. And the cool thing about this Aegis OD is that it's going to finally allow them to maybe use their Death Prophet ult offensively. Because for the most part in this game, he's had to use it defensively, and SG just reset. They run away, they Uber out, but now things are a little bit different as they can start to reclaim the map a little bit.
This is absolutely 25k behind, and they're still playing as well as that. This is incredible showing from King Gaming. I'm looking at Dazzle. You know, wrong. He's been having a great game. Kind of want him to spend his gold. Sit on 3,300 gold here. I feel like something like a Lotus Orb could go a long way here, couldn't it?
Yeah, but I think he...
What's he waiting on?
I'm not
What's
sure
he
what he's
deciding?
waiting on.
Yeah.
He could buy a part of something. Maybe he's just not willing to commit to an item yet.
Okay. It looks, yeah, he queued up Glimmer Cave. Now it's changed to 4 stuff. Looks like he's still considering. 4 stuff actually arguably could be the better item.
Yes.
Having that force, as we thought, just making sure that they can create a distance between Ing and SG once they jump on the DP would certainly buy him time to just get a bit of regen, get back up, and then get himself back into the fight.
When everyone is this farm, it's oftentimes just the positioning in the fights that matter, and being able to force people away. When they're hexed, it's such a good counter to the hex. Somebody gets hexed, you just force staff them down, you force the enemy team to commit and get even further. That's when you trap them. But SG,
Oh boy.
26k gold lead, but
The arrow!
doesn't seem to mean much as
Well, can they actually do anything off
follow
that?
it,
Probably not, no. A little too deep.
that would have been crazy if they just committed off that arrow.
Would have been a little deep. But we're seeing the power of this multi-shot arrow late game. Not only great for the threat, but the vision game as well, giving SG a lot of information when they try and find him.
DD Rune though, they want to take this fight. There is an Aegis and she's available though on Keen. An aggressive maneuver. The double damage though, prompting them to do so as Dark.
It's going to be just out of vision for being nighttime.
Maybe if they can separate the rest of them, it doesn't matter.
This wall gives them the info they need. They're going to see Wrong straight away onto the Dazzle. Wrong can't play his way out of this one. The arrow next. Wrong to fall. Costa Bill on the side. Looking for GGG. GGG. They can't see him. They don't have any detect. This secret's going to be alright. In fact, see, he's deciding to turn and fight now. As Dark comes in, gets the Gale. Indeed, Ing.
Yes, no
suffering on the side. He's trying his best to keep alive with the Siphon, and for the most part, he's doing it. Finally, Theolical comes in with a net drop, and Ing, he's still alive. He's not going down. This Death Prophet's A-OK, and it's SG. They've lost 2. Laposa now having to run away. Costa Bill has to be so careful how close he gets to this fight. With the 9-man Laposa, Bardino just trying to do everything to buy time for Laposa to survive. And for tell you what, it's working for the time being. SG are drawing out this fight very nicely. Costa Bill now has the Tempest double back out. They turn. They're looking to bring down KG, but they get it. The arrows fly through, not going to find the connection, but they're getting the kills, SG. That's the down for 2 minutes. GGG will buy back, but it's only him and Ing left for this defense against the 4-man of SG. SG with that team fight may have just done it. I don't know if Ing and GGG can hold back this sort of a push. Bardino trying to get the catch in. Both cores without their ultimates. SG will clean up the top lane. Move towards mid. What are we seeing on the Exorcism? Yeah, 40 seconds still. 30 seconds on Phantasm. Can they really hold this? They'll try, but again, straight with the Impers, these two don't have detection. That Bane's fine. Bardino's okay. Buyback comes out from the Spirit Breaker. He knows that the buyback's not available for the Clock and the Veno. SG want to finish this. They're trying to go in hard onto Ing. Gets hexed up. Wrong's back in the game on the Dazzle. There's the bubble out as well, making it very hard for GGG to do anything in response. He gets Costa Bill though. Drags in the arc warden. Can he finish him up? No! GGG's down for 2 minutes. SG, they get the kill. They're forcing back to base. They'll move on to the tier 4s. GG is called. SG will finally close up the game. But what a game indeed, ladies and gentlemen. The series stands 1-1. We're going to a game 3 between these sides. Mike, I don't know which way it's going to go, Blitz.
These are such scrappy games from both sides. Even with these 20k leads, both teams keeping it as close as possible. SG, they fight.